Hello everybody and welcome back to another Thursday Thought. Today I thought we would talk about Flymask. Shockingly enough, this is a topic where some people think they are abusive, horrible, great, perfect, awesome, use them all the time, have too many, never get rid of any because who knows when you'll need it. And the reason I wanted to talk about these is first I want to talk about the different kinds there are, because it's amazing that there are so many different kinds of fly mask. Like, we could go anywhere from the stereotypical fly mask. It just loops around the back of their head and it covers just their eyes and goes right up under their jawline. And then we could talk about the ones that have the ears. Cover up the ears, flies don't get on the ears, whatever. Some people think that's an abusive part of it because it's like messing with their ears or whatever. I'm not really sure where the whole abuse thing comes from. And then we have the ones that are the ears and they have the long nose on them to protect the front of the nose. These are ones I especially used with Buddy because he had the pink skin everywhere. So fly masks were huge in helping him to not get as much sun as he could have. And unless something crazy had happened, he kept that fly mask on pretty much every time I saw him. It was very rare that he did not have the fly mask on the next day after I put him on him. Some horses, they like the fly mask, some horses they don't, and they'll let you know because they'll just take it right off. Funny enough, my horses, one of them likes it, one of them doesn't. Dash, he doesn't like it. And even though the ear one would be really helpful to protect his ears, with all the plaque and stuff, just, you know, sometimes it gets a lot of flies in there. They like to mess with the inside of his ears. So do they do the same thing with Rio. It's part of the reason I started buying petroleum jelly, because that stuff is amazing. You put it on the inside of the ears and it actually puts up just a thin layer and it will actually protect your horse's ears from getting bit by flies. But, you know, it's also really sticky and nasty, and that's why I like to, if I can, I would put on the fly mask that had the ears, and it did wonders for the horses, and they really enjoyed it because it really helped them out a lot. Now, I haven't had as much problems with the flies biting the inside of their ears the past couple years, so I don't know if that's just like depending on the fly season, but I use it sometimes. Rio likes it. He's got really big ears, and his ears can get kind of dried out, so sometimes I put the petroleum jelly on there just to give him a little bit of relief from the itchiness of his dry ears. Not all the time, but it does. But the thing is with fly mask, I think, is it's really dependent upon your horse. Some horses, they really need them. Buddy, he really needed it. It really extended the amount of time that he had on this earth without having to deal with the sun, and it messed with his eyes and all that kind of stuff. It really burns his skin. It protected him from the sun. Even if we're not talking about the skin cancer he had, it did keep him from being burnt. So, you know, and even sunscreen can only do so much. So the fly masks were really kind of like a permanent thing that never wore off, if that makes sense. But to me, fly masks have been very useful, especially if we have a bad fly year. This year's been kind of weird. We've gotten all these little tiny flies, and they have just been crazy recently. And then they kind of died off, and then they're not quite as bad, but, you know, they could come back. You never know. Anyways, but that's my take on fly mask. You always seem to have too many of them, and you never seem to want to throw them away. I know I've gone through mine just recently and looked through them, and any of them that had holes in them, I threw away. Because what's the point in having them if they have holes in them? The whole point is to keep flies out. And if the hole's big enough for a fly to get through, there's no point. So that was my reason to get rid of them. Some of them I've had for probably close to 10 years. Like, that's crazy. Some of those fly masks should have been thrown away a long time ago. They're not meant to last forever. That's just not how they're made. That's why they're cheap. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And those are my thoughts. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.